Important story here. Michael Moore asked him to help tell the story of being a Muslim in America, claiming they were being persecuted because they couldn't build a mosque in Tennessee. But once he dug into the details, the entire story changed. Joining us now, documentary filmmaker Eric Allen Bell. Thank you for joining us, sir. I followed this extensively, this Murfreesboro, Tennessee mosque. It's a big mosque. Tell us how it went down. Originally, they got approval to build it. They started to build it. Then what happened?
Well, the approval was to build a 53,000 square foot mega mosque in a town of 100,000 people with 200 to 300 Muslims, only 45 of which are paying members. So we're talking about a multi-million-dollar project. There was backlash in the community against it, and I thought this would make a great documentary. I also went into it with a bias that this is really just about civil rights and religious freedom, and had pursued that, had shot 300 hours of footage taking that point of view.
And then, let me get this straight. There was the Michael Moore group, a couple of liberal-leaning groups that funded your project. Is that right?
No, I keep hearing that Michael Moore funded my project. Michael Moore did not fund the project. He was very supportive. I wrote for michaelmoore.com. The funders of the project, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, and I can't disclose, but it was not Michael Moore.
Okay, so now you're into this filming. You're leaning towards the original thought that the Muslim groups or the builders of the mosque were being persecuted. But what happened? What changed your mind?
You know, I think there's a perceptive disability that a lot of liberals have, which is when I say Islam, you hear Muslim. So I kept thinking that the opposition to Islam was an opposition to the Muslims. And seeing the Muslim community as victims, my inclination was to stick up for them. So it wasn't until I started to do some serious research about Islam that I realized what was actually happening here, and that I had gotten this whole thing completely wrong.
And what is actually happening? I only have a couple of seconds. Tell me what you found.
I found that there's a man who raped a 9-year-old girl, who owned slaves, who killed his critics, who beheaded a tribe full of Jews named Muhammad, who's the highest moral example in Islam for 1.6 billion people, and that this is a radical, savage religion. The people aren't all radical, thank God, but the religion is the worst, most deadliest idea in the history of the world, and we need to make sure that we keep a close eye on it in this country.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Very interesting topic. Love to have you back and maybe expand on it a little bit more. The treatment of the left after you got this stuff done. Thank you very much for joining us.
Sure thing.
All right.